So we're looking for the remote for the beamer. Please all look under your chair if there's a remote. No. Yeah, we can get the ladder for the photos and then turn it on. I can just do it from heart, or I could just answer questions. Any questions? Just go like that. Sure. If the beamer doesn't work, I'll just I'll just rant. What? Yeah, and we'll just gather around. I've done it with a client presentation and it didn't work, and we're like 5 clients around my laptop, 13-inch. Is it good? Ah, we can just pretend we're waiting for the last people to come in, make them feel really bad. Yeah, thank you for joining. It's a bit late, but no. There we go. Yeah, I'm working for Panasonic these days. Oh, there we are. Okay, should we dim the lights or not? I think you guys can all see it. So thank you so much for joining my session to talk a little bit about what we learned at OpenSocial in the last 3 years, changing our entire company from a normal Drupal shop to a open source SaaS company. So I'll be sharing some insight with you from our learnings, and if you're interested in building your own product, I hope this helps you. But also, please come see me after the talk, because I'd love to talk about SaaS and productizing, because I think we can really do a lot of good with products in Drupal. Also, want to thank the organization for inviting our team here in Kiev. Really happy to be back in Ukraine. 2 years ago, I was here as well on the DrupalCamp, and everybody was speaking Ukrainian or Russian, and I said, next time I'll speak Russian. But now everybody changed to English, so don't have to do Russian. Ну, я понимаю чуть-чуть. Okay, so for those who do not know me, I'm Taco. I always say with a name as Taco, you don't need a last name anymore. It's a traditional Dutch name. Our company is in the Netherlands. We have our office in Amsterdam. I founded GoGorilla in 2008, 11 years ago. The OpenSocial project in 2016, and our last project, Stanks. I'm not talking about that today, but last year. I used to be 4 years on the board of the Dutch Drupal Association, organizing the local events as the Drupal Jam. Your guys are bigger than the Drupal Jam, so well done. I'm also currently on the board of the Dutch Startup Association, where we help startups lobbying in the political landscape in the Netherlands. So I'm really involved into startups and how they can raise money, become successful, and I think we can learn a little bit from that in the Drupal ecosystem as well. So as I mentioned, we used to be a normal creative Drupal shop called Golgorilla. We're active for 11, 12 years in the Drupal community, and we're doing a lot of cool stuff. But pretty much a standard Drupal shop where you come with a project to us, we help you design it, build it, maintain it. Nothing with products yet, and we've done so for many years. But we thought we can do better, so we thought we need to build better software. And if you're a developer or QA or a business owner, you know that the budgets and the expectations of the clients, they never match with what you really, really want to do. So the client gives you 2 hours to build a feature, right? But you as a developer or as a project manager or as QA, you want to do some research first, you want to design it well, you want to test it very well after you've written the code, maybe write some automated testing. And in most projects, there just isn't time for that. So we want to build better software. We also want to innovate faster. So what we see often in Drupal is that people come with a project budget to you, you do the whole project, and then the client was like, it's not like Facebook does it, or it's not like, we have all these really cool tools in our personal life. They work amazingly, and our clients expecting that what we deliver is just of the same quality. I think we have to live up to those expectations, but when you build from scratch and you start from zero, it's really hard to make those clients very happy. And in the end, I think we need to make our clients more successful. So if they invest their money in a project, they need to get a big return out of that. And if you make them very successful, if you deliver a lot of value to them, they become more successful, they like you more, they'll pay you more, so higher rates, etc. So that's what we set out to do. I have done some other presentations where I go deeper into why we've done the OpenSocial project. So you can look at them from DrupalCon in New Orleans and in Dublin. But today I'm not talking about the reason so much, more about the results from the last 3 years. So really in 2016, we started to develop the OpenSocial project. I will tell you how we funded the project, where the money came from, and how we're making returns of it. And we're really focusing currently on building communities that are on a mission. So we work a lot with nonprofits, Greenpeace, United Nations, for example, victim support. So we're not doing a lot of commercial projects. We do have SAP as a client, but really focusing on communities with a mission. And I'm not going to tell you how great OpenSocial is. Moritz did a presentation on that today, but if you want, it's on Drupal. You can check it out, install it, use it for your clients. Currently we have over 1,000 active installations, and we're delivering new features every month. So I'm not going to talk too much about the project here today, but it's really cool, and you can earn a lot of money with it, make your clients really happy. So definitely check it out. And here we listed some of the clients that we have. We're doing a lot of work with the United Nations, Greenpeace, SAP, some of the other companies. We have a client in Australia now. We do a lot of things in Switzerland, United States, and currently we have about 50, 60 clients using OpenSocial. So that's a lot. And today I want to talk about how we did that and what you can learn from that, and also maybe what not to do. So in general, who knows the term open SaaS? Yeah. So software as a service. I'll explain it in the next slide. So actually, this is a term that Dries himself coined. So if you go to Wikipedia and you search for open SaaS, you see Dries Breitart. He used the term first. So when you normally have software as a service, it's with the company, you cannot take it out. It's not open source. But open SaaS is an idea of Dries where you have your SaaS product, which I'll explain later, but you can still take it out of the cloud, host it yourself, run it yourself, maintain it yourself. But today I'm talking a little bit more about SaaS. So it's indeed software as a service. And when we talk about software as a service compared to your normal Drupal projects, there's a couple of things that are really different. So what if you really want to offer SaaS, and I'll show you later why you really want to do that. First thing is that it needs to be out of the box, running almost instantly. So how long does it take an average Drupal project from start to finish before we deliver that? It takes months, right? This should be up and running ideally in minutes or maybe some hours, and the whole project should be up and running and live in less than 4 weeks. So SaaS should be out of the box. It should work directly. You need to have smooth automated updates with new features. Who of you have clients that really like acceptance testing? That they're like, yeah, here we go again, acceptance testing. Yeah, they love it. They're testing all their different browsers and different devices. God, you're great clients. So our clients hate it. They never do it. They don't like acceptance testing. So they want an update that is immediate, that works, delivers new features, the manual's updated, and they don't want to be bothered with version numbers or anything. So you need to have like seamlessly updates. The other thing of your offering is that you need to take care of the hosting, preferably in the cloud, but it can also be on-premise. You need to do all the maintenance, do all the support, and deliver additional services. So your offering should be already different than what you usually do as a Drupal shop built from scratch. And then comes a very important part, is the billing. So usually in a Drupal project, what you do is that you have 2 prices. One is the setup, the building, the development, and then you charge sometimes a little bit for maintenance and hosting. So these 2 parts are very important, but with a SaaS product, there's a small setup fee and there's a quite large monthly fee. So this is a big difference. The setup is short and sweet out of the box. So the setup fee is a few thousand euros, but the monthly fee is also sometimes a few thousand euros. So why are they paying this? They're paying this because they can spend their budget not at once, but they can spend it in small monthly payments. You make sure there is no updates, there's new features, hosting, maintenance, support. So it's super valuable for them. So instead of think about your normal maintenance contracts, they're quite small. These contracts are quite big. So with us, they start at 500 euro per month. They can go up to 5,000 euro per month for one client. We have clients that pay even more. You can sell additional services, hosting or like consultancy, design. We still do that, but your focus should be on this monthly fee. So it's a really different business model. I'll also explain you why. We find now 3 years doing OpenSocial that we're beating the custom development projects. Like we're pitching against some of the Drupal shops and we're winning all the time. Why? First of all, our clients get much more value out of the box. So short setup time, they got tons of features, and every month we're adding new features. So our feature list is becoming big. You don't need to use them, but we have them. So we're giving them a lot more value straight away. The initial setup costs are very low. So instead of tens of thousands of euros, a couple of thousand of euros. We're going faster. We can get it up and running. We all know our clients like to have the project delivered yesterday. Unless you have great clients again, maybe they're very patient. Our clients always want their platform yesterday. You don't need to involve the client as much as you used to. There's no like big feedback meetings, the acceptance testing, all the choices they need to make, and they're a little bit afraid of that. They have other stuff to do usually. So they're not so much involved. We take the pain away from them. Indeed, the acceptance periods, we can test our software better. We write a lot more automated tests because we have 60 clients and 1,000 clients in the Drupal community using the software. We have less bugs. We can spend a lot more time on UX and design and improvements in those. There we go. This is also important. So when you're doing sales and you say, well, actually Greenpeace is using the project and the United Nations is using the project, they're much more likely than also to buy your project because these big organizations use it, so it must be good. If you want to build from scratch, you have your portfolio, but they haven't seen that product or the product that you're going to build for them in action, so it's a big risk for them. We pitch open source as a crowd co-development. So you don't need to pay for all your features. Some other company is paying for your features, and you get them for free. Sounds great. As a company, we're really seen now as specialists in social media platforms. We have specific value-added services, such as consultancy or community management. And if you have a variety of clients in your portfolio, e-commerce, social, all the kind of things that you would normally build as a Drupal shop, you don't have these expertises on this very individual projects that can help the clients be more successful. We can do very strict security guidelines because we're doing the platform over and over and over. We can be certified, like GDPR certification for our project. And we're working on a marketplace with extensions and modules. That's much easier than what Drupal offers. Next slide, please. There we go. Okay. Now I have to be careful. Come on. Yeah. So how do we do that, and how did we build our SaaS platform? This is the project that we made open source. So it's the OpenSocial distribution, and I'm speaking to a Drupal audience, so I assume you know what contributors modules are and core. We build OpenSocial modules on top of that, and features as API, branding. This is our blockchain solution. And this project is completely open source, so anybody can use it, and people can contribute to it. We keep improving it. All our projects use the OpenSocial distribution in its core. But we have 50, 60 platforms now that needs to be updated. So if we would do that in a traditional way, it would be very time consuming. So what we've done is we set up a single tenant hosting, and currently we have 2 products. We have a basic SaaS product. It works out of the box. You can set it up in minutes, pay with your credit card. And we have what we call enterprise SaaS. You can extend that one with modules, connected to your other software. They're all hosted single tenant, which is very important for clients nowadays, so they have their own database. And we build a system, we call it Primate, that manages the complete setup and deployment for us. You can even choose where you want to deploy your project. So you can say, I want to host it on AWS or Google Cloud, and I want to host it in the United States or in Europe. So this is fully automated. And then we build another system, we call it MOS, which is a continuous integration and automated system that takes care of all the quality assurance, automated testing, backups, etc. So these systems help us to set up new platforms really easy, so you can be up and running in minutes. And on the other hand, it makes sure that if we do an update of OpenSocial, it's continuously rolled out with as little maintenance and customization as possible for our clients. So this way, we can really scale up, and instead of doing a couple of sites, we can do hundreds, hopefully. So maybe you're also thinking about, this sounds cool, right? I want to do a product and sell a lot of them and earn a lot of money and this recurring revenue every month. That sounds great. Let's do it. This is the future. So there's some big hurdles to overcome when you want to do this, and we'll start talking about them. So I'm, of course, making a point here. So I know it's not that easy, but it's rather easy to sell to a client who is looking for an agency. So you can tell them, look, the project's going to be amazing, everything you want and your specific specifications, we're going to build it for you, no bugs, on time, within budget. That's what we sales guys do. The developers here are laughing like, yeah, that's how it goes in our company as well. Well, you start building the project. At the end of the month, you say, well, yeah, we made a couple of hundreds of hours, you pay that. It will cover your costs and you make a little bit of profit. And you can start this with 1 or 2 developers and grow your company. It's a good business model. You don't need a lot of investments. You need some credit at the bank maybe for these first months. This is what we usually do in the Drupal world. So you just sell the client a dream, and if you can or cannot make it happen, then they will not know beforehand. They'll only find out if the project is finished or not, but they'll usually pay your bills. So what we found is that when you sell a product, it's already there. So the client has a choice between products. They have like 3 or 4 products. They can compare it. They can ask you a lot of questions beforehand. You need to answer all those questions beforehand. You cannot say like, oh yeah, we're going to build it in a few months' time. No, you need to sell the product. So it's super hard. And on top of that, you need to build this product first. It's going to take you 6 to 12 months beforehand. And then your client doesn't pay you the whole project. They pay you like a few thousand euros a month, while the whole setup might have cost hundreds of thousands of euros to build the product. So how do you do that, right? Who pays for all the work to build the project? And this is a very interesting slide. And usually when we talk about startups and making money, all the papers and the articles, they go about companies in like the IPO phase when they go to the stock market. That's cool, right? Like Uber and Lyft. Or they talk about, oh, they got 10 million investment, they got 5 million investment. Yeah, this is great, right? But I hate it because this is actually the part that most startups are in and they're failing. It's called the valley of death. So let's talk about that a little bit more. So what I said before is that this here is like money, and so you're going down because you need to build a product, and it's going to take you 6 to 12 months to build that product. You have to pay for your designers and your testers and your team. So your revenue goes down, 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 and then here, okay, people like it, they'll start paying a little bit money, so you start making money, but still you're losing money, and only here, and the time goes on and on and on, you break even. You're not even making profit yet. You're not earning any of the money you invested back here. You're just like making the same money goes in as out. What we noticed, we thought this would take us like a year. And in reality, it took us 2 to 3 years to get over this. And still, it's only we're like break even now, but the future can only tell where we really are. So what we see in the business plans and what I see in the startup community, we always say add a year to your planning of this. So if you think we're going to invest a year and then we're going to break even in 2 years, +1 in practice. It's going to take you 3 years at least. And most startups, they never come out of this. Like most startups fail. So, okay, you need the money. There's a couple of ways to do this. These numbers vary a little bit. In Western Europe, these numbers are usually lower than in the United States. And I guess here in Eastern Europe, they might be a bit lower. But if you want to invest in a product, Series A is when things are really going well. You're selling, you have your clients, you have product market fit. Seed money is smaller investment. It's usually when you have a product and you have some traction. But really what you want to be looking at is like what's nowadays called pre-seed money. So you have a good idea, you say you want to build it, you have your company, you have your track record, we can do this. So you need maybe 200,000 or 100,000 to pay your team for a year. We've done this ourselves. In 2015, we sold 10% of our company for 200,000 euros. And we had some really good years before, so we could also invest 300,000 euro out of our own money. And with this 500,000 euro, we could pay a whole team, like a big team, to sit apart and to build OpenSocial for a year. We did it with a crowdfunding campaign. This is the photo we used for the campaign. If you want to talk about crowdfunding, your idea, love to talk more about that. I can give you some tips how to get the money. There's some really smart things you can do there. We raised the 200,000 euro in 10 days, so it was really fast. But it can take sometimes 2 months or so. I'm leaving this in the slide deck, so you guys can watch the video later. So now, how are we competing with OpenSocial? Go through this. Oh. So why is OpenSocial becoming successful? Is because there are a lot of things going on, and I think what we are doing and learning is something that you can also do. At least do your homework before you want to start building a project, because you can only spend the money once building the product, so it has to be good. So for OpenSocial, we see that in the public sector, Facebook, we've seen all this analytics scandal with Cambridge Analytica, a lot of privacy concerns. So there's a lot of companies moving away from Facebook, as they should. Then there is the big tech companies, so like Salesforce, Microsoft, and they work really well if you're in that ecosystem. So if your whole IT stack is Salesforce, fine, you can use a community product from Salesforce or from Microsoft as SharePoint. But the thing is, companies don't want to use only Microsoft products or only Salesforce products. They want to use different, best of their industry products. And only us, because we use open source and open standards, can really deliver and integrate with that software. So Microsoft SharePoint doesn't really work well with your CRM system that is not from Microsoft. So what you see is that these big tech companies are really good in something, but they're not really ready for the open source and the open standards world, and we are. There's closed adoption challengers, and that is good. They're sometimes really good in a niche, but they lack the data ownership, privacy, extendability that open source and Drupal has to offer. And then there's the do-it-yourself. Yeah, I think I gave enough reasons why you should not build a community or an intranet from scratch yourself, because you're going to win it with a product like OpenSocial. So I'm not saying that this is exactly for the product you have in mind, but think about who are your competitors. Why are people going to choose your tool over somebody else's? Also think about what's your strategy. Who are you going to target to? We clearly chose for nonprofits as a first initial target sector. We could do like everything, right? You can just run around and try to sell it as anybody. But we said, no, we're only going to sell to nonprofits first, build our brand, listen to what their needs are, and grow from there. Government is another sector that Drupal is traditionally very strong in. GoGorilla has a strong portfolio there. And only then we might go into the business area. But, it's future music, as we say in Dutch. So this is an English expression. Also, we started out building OpenSocial for a small set of features and try to do that really well. So it's solving knowledge problem issues, everything around events, everything around extranets like profile, social login, those kind of things, and then add features, crowd innovation, courses, and then slowly moving into collaboration, more gamification. So taking small steps, both horizontally and vertically, and really think about what's your market sector. Why am I the best in that market? What are my competitors in there? Then there's 4 metrics that we use to measure our success, and you should too, because if you're going to look for an investment, these are the metrics people want to see. First one, most important, is the recurring revenue that you get every month. In the startup world, people just say MRR. So it's the fee that your client pays every month to you. There we go. Ideally, somehow this price goes up every month. Maybe because they have more users, they have more features, more page views, some type of a mechanism that without you doing more work, their monthly fee slowly goes up every month. We haven't really figured this out yet, but something that you have to think about. Sometimes people call it ARR, it's just 12 times MRR. Now, when you talk to investors in the United States, sometimes they measure a company with a value of, say, 100 times MRR. So if you would sell a client a product for €500 a month, this client would add €50,000 to your company value. So there's a huge multiplier. So think about this, that recurring revenue is much more worth to investors than one-off projects and one-off income. It's really important to understand. Churn is the how many clients stop paying for your service, how many clients go away. Of course, it needs to be close to 0, but if it's too low, then you might be too cheap, So there's also something to think about. And you have to think about, okay, how do I keep these clients? So can I, for example, lock them in with data, which is hard because we're open source and freedom, etc. But still, you can think about how can I make sure that they use my platform and that we store all the data in our platform. So it makes it easier, harder for them to leave. It's a nice discussion for the after party. Talk about open source and and lock-ins. Third metric is the cost to acquire a customer. So how much money does it cost you to get one new client? So it's total sales and marketing expenses, and then the number of customers added. So if your costs are 10,000 euro a month for marketing and sales, and you get 2 clients every month, then your CAC is 5,000 euro. Why is this important? Because you need to think about how many months of income do I need to cover this cost. So for example, I need to point here, not to the screen. So say in the previous example, you're getting 500 euro a month, then it takes you about 10 months to recover the cost of acquiring the customer. So only after 10 months, you're starting to make money on this client. And in general, the rule is try to make sure you earn the client's money back within 1 year. And then the last time is the customer lifetime value. So what is the total value of getting a client on board? So does the client stay with you 3 years or 4 years or 2 months? We don't know this yet because our clients stay a long time with us, so they almost don't go away. So I cannot really share a lot about it, but I do share some other stuff with you. Here you can see our monthly recurring revenue growth. So we had here 1 client in 2017, and then we started growing, and currently we are growing to 40,000 MRR. So when you go to investors, the first thing they ask you, what's your MRR? And you need to know this. And then they ask you, what's your growth? It's like your monthly over month growth of MRR. And you need to show that it's growing every month. So this means that every month, without doing hourly work, design, development, we're still going to get this money. And this is really nice because I can hire a team on this. I don't need to, like, even if there's no new clients, we're still going to get this money every month. But it's growing. That's a good sign, of course. So I think we're doing much really good. We thought it would take us a year less. So we thought we would grow like this. And of course, I don't know if this is going to go up here or if it's going to go down. We don't know, but we're very pleased, especially in the last month, how this MRR is growing. And also talking to some investors who have seen this growth and are very interested now in working with us. This is our spreadsheet where we track all our clients and also when they churn. So most of the clients don't churn, but it's very important to keep track of this. And our churn is almost 0 at this moment. This is quite interesting. So our monthly marketing and sales costs are 12,000 euro a month, and they give us 1 new client. It's getting a bit better in the last 2 months, actually, so I'm happy about that. But it does mean that our cost of getting a client is about 12,000 euro, and it takes us about 1 year to recover this, because our average MRR is about 1,000 euro at the moment. So this is good, but it can be better. And just remember, if you think about this 12,000 euro, this back and forth is not really working well. So, like, getting a client is 12,000 euro. This is crazy, right? It costs so much money to get a client. So what you need to understand is first you need to invest in a product, and then you need to invest money in sales and marketing, which can also be quite a lot. So here we are currently, crowdfunding, investing, increasing clients, and at the same time we're decreasing the clients of GoGorilla. So the traditional clients that are not OpenSocial related. So last year we fired about 15 clients. I always say, if you really want a client to stay with you, you need to tell them they need to leave, then find another company, because then they'll do everything to stay with you. Should have known earlier. So we are almost there. We just have a few older clients left that are not OpenSocial related, but we hope to phase that out as soon as possible. and we're looking forward to raising additional investment in 2020 based on the product and the growth and the clients that we've seen recently. So my 3 key learnings: if you're going to do a product, have enough money for funding, development, and marketing. I think we did it okay, but we spent almost all our money on development, and then we need clients. Who's going to pay for the marketing and sales? So we're doing a lot of ourselves. But think about that. We should have thought about that better. Focus on this MRR growth, recurring revenue. So if a client comes and says, "I'll give you 50,000 for a project, one-off, but I will not give you any monthly fees," that's not a good client. So it's better to have 5,000 euro setup fee and then maybe 1,000 or 2,000 per month for 2 to 3 to 4 years. For investors, this is much better. It's also something we had to learn. Build the technology to scale. We're doing better, but we did make some mistakes in the beginning where we, made too much custom work, and now we have problems with updating those. So say no a lot more than you're used to now, because we're used to, as a Drupal shop, always say, yes, sure, we can do it, we'll build it for you. And now we have to say, no, we'll not build it for you. Stick to the core product. So that's a little bit harder. GetOpenSocial.com has a lot more information. And we have a few minutes left for questions, if there's any. Yeah, do we have a mic or?
If you have, for example, requirement for new feature, how do you work with risk and estimations?
Yeah, so what we currently do is, if there is a requirement for a new feature, we think about, are there other clients benefiting from this feature? So can we make it an extension for OpenSocial? And we have different rates for that. So if the client wants an extension or a customization that we cannot reuse, they have to pay us a higher price. So they have to pay our full rate, and we can still do it. If they are being motivated to build something that's reusable, and we can spend a little bit more time on research and development, we sponsor sometimes half of that feature for the client. So we try to motivate them, don't build too much custom features. If you do, we can do it, but it's going to cost you. And B, think about how we can make features reusable for other clients. Because if we do this in every product, this co-development, it creates a synergy where all the clients benefit. And if they understand this, they're much more happy to invest in a feature like that. So yeah, that model is working really well. And Drupal and open source it's a great model for that. Yeah. Any other questions? So it was either really clear or not clear at all. I think I'll find out at the after party. Come find us. We love to talk open source, SaaS, startups, investments. We don't have any money, but we can connect you to people that do. And we'd love to hear your idea as well. Oh, Nick. Somebody is running the help team. It's like the A team.
Hi, thanks for the presentation.
Yeah, sure.
We're doing something similar, but very, very different. So in terms of SaaS and open source and that kind of stuff. One of the biggest difficulties that we have is that we market functionality before we even have it to test if it works. But then we have the issue if it's actually being sold. How quickly do we have to make it?
Yeah.
Have you encountered similar issues?
I think I'm doing business development and sales. So I'm pushing my team saying, look, we have all these cool Drupal modules. Let's just add them to our marketplace and sell them, and then we'll sort it out later once we've sold them. And then the developers go like, yeah, that's, we're really busy, and then we have to do that on top. So I think this is a bit of a fight. We don't do it at the moment, but therefore our extensions are a bit limited. While, for example, we have one client using Solar. So I say, fine, let's put Solar as an update of the search available. But we don't do that yet. So I think we should do it a bit more, but the developers are a little bit hesitant and saying, maybe it's the Eastern, we have 2 offices, one in the West, in Amsterdam. There we are like let's just sell it and we'll fix it. And in the east of the Netherlands, people are like, no, promise, don't overpromise and just do what you promise people. So I think we're a little bit balanced in that.
It's a fine line.
It's a fine line, yeah. But I'd love to talk more about that. Maybe we can prevent some things then. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for your attention.